At my father-in-law's birthday, my mother-in-law told me to sleep on the couch. So at midnight, I packed my bag and walked out of that house. My name is Stella Moore. I'm 32 years old, and I've been married for 5 years. Today is Saturday. My partner Owen Harris and I are driving back to his hometown in Ohio to celebrate his dad's 60th birthday. We'd been on the interstate for over 2 hours. The trunk was packed with gifts, 2 bottles of premium whiskey, a tea set, a wool sweater I knitted for his dad, a cashmere scarf for his mom, and a Lego set for his sister's little girl. Owen hummed along to the radio as he drove, clearly in a great mood. "Stella, when we get there later, if Mom starts saying those things again, don't take it to heart," Owen said suddenly. I knew exactly what he meant. I knew his mom's mouth all too well. "Don't worry," I said. "It's Dad's birthday today. I won't get upset." I turned to look out the window as fields blurred past. Truth was, I felt a little uneasy. Every visit back felt like stepping onto a battlefield without smoke. His mom always managed to drop a few casual comments at the exact moment I let my guard down, comments that made my chest feel tight. Like last year at Thanksgiving when the whole family was eating together. In front of a table full of relatives, she said, "Stella, you two have been married 4 years now. When are you giving us a baby? Look at Aunt Clark's daughter-in-law next door. She had her first kid in year 2, and now she's pregnant again." Or at Christmas, when I was helping make dumplings, she frowned and said, "That's not how you do it. Around here, dumplings need 18 pleats to look right. Forget it, go sit down. Don't make more work." Or on Memorial Day when we visited the cemetery, she pointed at the headstones and said, "These are the Harris ancestors. When you and Owen have kids, you'll have to bring them here to pay respects too. Daughters don't count. It has to be a son." Her words were like tiny needles, not deep, but sharp. Owen always said, "Mom's just like that. She speaks bluntly, but she doesn't mean harm. Just let it slide, babe." I had let it slide for 5 years. From 27 to 32. We exited the highway and drove into a small town. Owen's family lived in an old apartment complex in the historic district. 6 stories, no elevator. We parked the car and carried all the bags up to the 5th floor. I knocked. His mom opened the door. "Oh, you're back?" She was wearing an apron, her hands still dusted with flour. "Owen, come on in. Stella's here too." That too landed perfectly, like I was an add-on, an extra. "Mom, where's Dad?" Owen asked while changing his shoes. "Downstairs playing chess. He'll be back any minute." She glanced at the bags in my hands. "You bought so much again." "Such a waste of money." "It's Dad's birthday," I said, setting the bags on the table. "It's only right." She rummaged through them and pulled out the whiskey bottles. "These are expensive, aren't they? You two don't make that much a month. You should save. Once you have kids, money disappears fast." "Here we go again." I took a deep breath and forced a smile. His dad came back soon after and was genuinely happy to see us. Owen's sister, Maisie Harris, arrived too, with her 4-year-old daughter, Nina. The apartment instantly became lively. Dinner was lavish, chicken, duck, fish, and meat filling the table. His dad sat at the head, smiling ear to ear. Everyone raised their glasses, offering birthday wishes and good luck. His mom kept putting food on Owen's plate. "Owen, eat more. Look how thin you are." "Mom, I've got it," Owen said. "You never eat well outside. When you're home, you need to make up for it," she replied, dropping another drumstick into his bowl. My bowl was empty. I hadn't expected her to serve me, but the contrast was impossible to ignore. "Stella, help yourself. Don't be shy," his dad noticed and said. "Thanks, Dad." "I will," I replied, picking up some vegetables. "Oh, right. Where are you two sleeping tonight?" his mom asked suddenly. Owen and I exchanged a look. We'd already agreed we'd stay one night and leave the next afternoon. "Mom, Stella and I will just sleep in my old room," Owen said. She put down her chopsticks and frowned. "That bed broke last year and never got fixed, and we don't have enough blankets. I only prepared 2, one for me and your dad, one for Owen." The air went still. "Then where does Stella sleep?" Maisie asked, the exact question in my head. His mom said calmly, "Doesn't the living room sofa pull out into a bed? Just spread a blanket." "Stella, that's fine, right? It's only one night. Make do." Everyone looked at me. Owen's face darkened. "Mom, that's not okay." Stella and "It's fine," I cut in, smiling. "The sofa's fine. I'll sleep there." I said it calmly, almost cheerfully. Owen stared at me in shock. His mom froze for a moment, clearly not expecting me to agree so easily. "Okay. After dinner, I'll set it up for you," she said. "Thanks, Mom," I replied. The rest of the meal felt strange. Owen barely spoke. His dad seemed like he wanted to say something several times but swallowed it back. Only his mom looked victorious, like she just won a battle, her voice noticeably louder. After dinner, I offered to do the dishes. "For once," she said, "just leave them. I'll wash." "It's okay, Mom. You rest," I said, already rolling up my sleeves. In the kitchen, we stood side by side. Water rushed as I washed and she rinsed. After a long silence, she suddenly said, "Stella, don't overthink it. We really only have 2 blankets." "I know, Mom," I said. "Owen's bed really is broken. I didn't lie to you. I believe you." She went quiet again. After the dishes were done, she took bedding from the closet and made up the sofa bed. It really did pull out. Narrow, barely a twin. "There's only 1 pillow. You'll have to make do," she said. "That's fine." She finished, then stood there looking at me for a few seconds, like she wanted to say something more. In the end, she only said, "Go to bed early." "You too, Mom." Around 9, everyone took turns washing up. There was only 1 bathroom, so I waited until everyone was done. The sink was crowded with Harris family toothbrushes, towels, and skincare products. There was no space for mine. My toothbrush and towel stayed in my travel toiletry bag. When I came out, the living room lights were off, leaving only a small night lamp. The sofa bed was made. The blanket had an old-fashioned peony pattern, and the pillow smelled faintly of mothballs. Owen came out of his room in his pajamas and walked over to me quietly. "Stella, I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't know Mom would do this. How about you sleep in my room, and I'll take the sofa?" "No need." I shook my head. "It's just one night. I'm fine." "But really, it's okay." I looked at him. "Go get some sleep. We have to get up early tomorrow." Owen stayed where he was. In the dark, I couldn't see his expression, but I could feel the guilt radiating off him. "Then, if you need anything, call me," he said. "Okay." He went back to his room and closed the door softly. I lay down on the sofa bed. It was narrow. Every turn required care. The blanket was thin, so I curled up. There was a draft from the living room window, and I could hear the night wind slipping through. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I stared at the ceiling, watching the blurred shadows shift. The past 5 years replayed in my mind like a movie. The first time I came to Owen's home, his mom had held my hand and said, "Stella, right? You're so pretty and delicate. Come by often. Treat this place like your own home." Back then, I truly believed this would be my second home. That first Christmas after we got married, she taught me how to make dumplings in the kitchen. She said mine didn't look great, but she taught me patiently. I thought then that she was just demanding, not a bad person. When did things start to change? Maybe it was the first time she pushed for a baby. Maybe it was every family gathering where she'd casually praise other people's daughters-in-law for being capable or devoted. Maybe it was when Owen and I didn't come back for 2 months because of work, and she called to say, "So now that you have your own home, you don't need this one anymore." I tried. I really did. I learned to cook the hometown dishes Owen loved, even though they never tasted quite right. I brought gifts every visit, even though I was always told I wasted money. I volunteered for housework, even though it was always done wrong. I even went to see a traditional doctor to regulate my health, despite the fact that we weren't in a rush to have kids. I thought if I were good enough, patient enough, one day she'd finally see me as family. But tonight, this sofa bed was like a bucket of cold water waking me up. In this house, I was always an outsider. A broken bed and a missing blanket were enough to make it perfectly reasonable for me to sleep in the living room. And my partner, the man who said he loved me, couldn't change anything beyond saying I'm sorry. The clock pointed to midnight. I sat up and turned on my phone's flashlight. By the dim light, I walked to the entryway. Our suitcases were still there. I opened mine quietly and started packing. My clothes, my toiletry bag, and the part of the gifts that carried my heart, the wool sweater I'd spent 2 months knitting, meant to be his dad's birthday present. Now, I didn't want to give it anymore. I folded the sweater neatly and put it back into the bag. The other gifts, the whiskey, the tea set, the scarf, the toy, stayed where they were. Those were bought by Owen, or by us as a couple. Let them stay. I took only what belonged to me. After packing, I walked to Owen's bedroom door. I raised my hand to knock, then lowered it. What would I say? That I couldn't take it anymore? That I felt wronged? That his mom didn't see me as family? We'd fought over those words countless times in the past 5 years. Every argument ended the same way. That's just how my mom is. She's old. Just give her some slack. And then I'd swallow my hurt and pretend nothing happened. But tonight, I didn't want to pretend anymore. I went back to the sofa, took out a pen and paper from my bag, and wrote by the glow of my phone, "Owen, I went home. Don't call. I need some time alone. Happy birthday, Dad. Stella." I placed the note on the coffee table and weighed it down with an ashtray. Then I picked up my suitcase, opened the door quietly, and stepped out. The motion sensor light in the hallway flicked on. I dragged my suitcase down the stairs step by step. The sound of the wheels scraping the floor echoed loudly in the silence. When I reached the 3rd floor, I stopped. I turned back and looked at that tightly closed door. A feeling surged up, hard to name. Not anger, not sadness, just a deep, bone-weary exhaustion. 5 years. I was tired. I walked out of the building. The cold night air hit me head-on. I shivered and zipped my jacket all the way up. The complex was dark, lit only by a few dim streetlights. I pulled my suitcase along the empty path. The wheels rolled over fallen leaves with a soft, rustling sound. Where to go? At this hour, there were no buses back to the city. The train station? Or should I find a hotel? As I was thinking, my phone vibrated. A message from Owen. "Stella, are you asleep?" I didn't reply. Another message came in. "My chest feels tight. I can't sleep." I still didn't reply. Then his call came. I declined it and turned my phone off. After walking for about 20 minutes, I saw the sign of a chain hotel still glowing. I went inside. The young woman at the front desk was yawning, scrolling on her phone. "Hello, I'd like a room," I said. "Just one guest?" the young clerk asked. "May I see your ID?" She took my driver's license, typed on the computer, then looked up. "A king bed, okay? That's fine. $88 a night. $200 for the deposit. Checkout is before noon tomorrow." I swiped my card, took the key card, and went upstairs. The room was small but clean. I set my suitcase down and sat on the edge of the bed, finally letting out a long breath. And then, a wave of emptiness hit me. I'd done it. I'd walked out of the house that made me sleep on a sofa. But then what? What about tomorrow? What about the future? Would Owen and I get divorced? For the first time, the thought surfaced clearly in my mind. No matter how bad our arguments had been before, I'd never seriously thought about divorce. I believed marriage always came with friction, with things to work through. But tonight, for the first time, I truly considered it. If a marriage leaves me without even a bed of my own, does it still deserve to exist? If a person can't protect their partner from being treated like this, are they really someone I can trust with my life? I took a hot shower and lay down, wide awake. I hesitated, then turned my phone back on. Dozens of missed calls, all from Owen. My messages were flooded. "Stella, where did you go? Pick up the phone." I was wrong, really wrong. "Please come back." "Where are you?" "I'll come find you." "Mom's worried too. Come back quickly." I scoffed when I read the last one. Mom's worried? Worried that I left and her son wouldn't know what to say, or worried about neighbors gossiping? I didn't reply to any of them. After a while, another message came in. "I'm looking for you. Tell me where you are. Let's talk." I thought for a moment, then replied, "I'm at a hotel. I'm safe. I'll head back on my own tomorrow. Don't come looking for me. I need some time alone," he replied instantly. "Which hotel?" "I'll come." "Don't. If you do, I'll move somewhere else. There was silence for a few minutes. Then, okay, I won't go. But can you tell me why you left? Was it really just because of the sofa? I stared at that line and suddenly felt it was absurd. Owen, do you really think it was just about the sofa? I know Mom was wrong, and I apologize for her. But couldn't you just put up with it for one night? It was my dad's birthday. You leaving like that made everything so awkward. There it was again. It was always me who couldn't endure, me who made things awkward. So it's all my fault, right? My hands were shaking as I typed. That's not what I mean. Stella, we've been together 5 years. Isn't there anything we can't talk through? You just left. Did you ever think about how I feel? Then did you ever think about how I feel? I sent back, then added, for 5 years, every single time your mom embarrassed me, you said that's just how she is. She's old. Just let it go. I let it go for 5 years, Owen. Tonight, I don't want to anymore. The sofa was just the trigger. Don't you get it? In that house, there has never been a place for me. A broken bed, a missing blanket. That's all it took for it to make perfect sense for me to sleep in the living room. In your mom's eyes, in your family's eyes, I'm always an outsider. And you, my partner, can't do anything except say you're sorry. I sent the long message and turned off my phone. This time, I really turned it off. I didn't know what he replied. I didn't want to know. I lay down, closed my eyes, and finally the tears came. Not sobbing, just silent tears. For 5 years of swallowed hurt. For my own foolishness. And for the version of me who once believed that trying hard enough was enough to belong. The next morning, I was woken by a knock at the door. I glanced at my phone. It was just past 7. The knocking was light but persistent. Who is it? I asked. Stella, it's me. Owen's voice came from outside, hoarse, exhausted. I didn't respond. I know you're in there. The front desk wouldn't say anything, but I checked every hotel one by one, he said quietly. Can you open the door? Let's talk. I sat on the bed, unmoving. If you don't open it, I'll wait out here, he said. After about 5 minutes of standoff, I sighed, got up, and opened the door. Owen stood there, hair a mess, eyes bloodshot, jacket wrinkled. Clearly he hadn't slept all night. How did you find me? I asked. This town isn't that big. There are only so many chain hotels. He stepped inside and closed the door. When he saw my swollen eyes, he froze. You cried? I didn't answer, and sat back on the bed. He sat down too, about 3 feet away from me. After a long silence, he spoke first. After you left last night, I had a huge fight with my mom. I was surprised. Owen almost never confronted her directly. It was a real fight, he said with a bitter smile. I asked her why she treated you like that, why she even had to withhold a blanket. She said she thought the sofa was fine and didn't think much of it. I asked her, didn't think much of it? Then why was my bed suddenly broken? Why was there suddenly one blanket short? What did she say? I asked. At first she kept denying it. Then my dad told her she was wrong too. She stopped talking and just sat there wiping her eyes. Owen ran a hand through his hair. Later, my dad told me the truth. There were enough blankets. She'd put one away. And the bed wasn't broken either. She said that on purpose. Even though I'd already guessed it, hearing it out loud still felt like being pricked by a needle. Why? I asked. Does she really hate me that much? She doesn't hate you. Owen shook his head. She's complicated. My dad said she suffered a lot when she was young. Grandma treated her badly, so she believes that once a daughter-in-law survives long enough, she earns the authority of a mother-in-law. And also, she might be a little jealous. Jealous of what? Jealous of how I treat you. Owen looked at me. Haven't you noticed? Every time I put food on your plate or show you affection, she finds something to pick at. She doesn't hate you. She feels like you took her son away. Like I treat you better than I treat her. I froze. That angle had never once crossed my mind. Of course, none of that is an excuse for her to mistreat you, Owen went on. I thought about it all night. Stella, I'm sorry. For these past 5 years, you've been wronged because of me. I thought that playing mediator, smoothing things over on both sides would keep the peace. But I was wrong. All I really did was make you give in again and again and let you get hurt again and again." His eyes were red, too. "After you left, I looked at that sofa bed and it finally hit me. It wasn't about a bed. It was about your place in that house and in my heart. If I can't even defend your right to sleep in a real bed, what kind of partner am I?" I turned my face away. Tears slipped down again. "I told my mom we're heading back today," Owen said. "From now on, unless she sincerely apologizes and truly changes her attitude, we won't be coming back often. I also told my dad that this house must have a room for us, a bed that belongs to us. Not a sofa. Not something temporary. A real bed that's ours." "Did your mom agree?" I asked quietly. "She didn't have a choice," Owen said firmly. "I told her, you're my wife, the person I want to spend my life with. There's no place for you in that house. Then there's no reason for me to come back either." I looked at the man in front of me and suddenly felt like I was seeing a stranger. In 5 years, this was the first time he'd been this resolute, the first time he'd stood on my side and gone head-on against his mom. "Stella," he held my hand. His palm was cold. "Give me one more chance, okay? And give my mom one more chance, too. I'll make her change. I'll protect you. If she can't, we'll come back less. Or not at all. But please, don't leave me." I didn't say anything. I just cried. He pulled me into his arms, my tears soaking into his shoulder. "Let's go home," he whispered near my ear. "Back to our home." That morning, we still went back to his parents' place once more. Basic courtesy mattered. It was his dad's birthday after all. When we walked in, his mom was sitting on the sofa, her eyes swollen. His dad was smoking on the balcony. When he saw us, he nodded. "Dad, I'm sorry about yesterday." "We're heading back now," I said. "The ones who should apologize are us," his dad sighed. "Stella, you've been treated unfairly." His mom looked up at me, then lowered her head again. Her voice was very soft. "The blanket, it's on the top shelf of the closet. The bed, it's fine." I didn't say anything. "What happened last night was my fault," she said even more quietly. I just felt that Owen is my son and Mom," Owen interrupted, "Stella is my wife. She's your daughter-in-law. She's family. If you don't treat her like family, then I can only come back less in the future." Tears fell from his mom's eyes. "It's not that I don't see her as family." "Then how have you been treating her?" Owen asked. "For 5 years you've picked at her, given her attitude, and last night you even made her sleep on the sofa. Is that how a mother treats her daughter-in-law?" I just felt uncomfortable inside. His mom broke down crying. "I spent my whole life being good to your grandmother and she never treated me kindly. Now that I finally have a daughter-in-law, I just wanted to finally act like the one in charge." His dad said from the balcony, "That's foolish. You suffered enough. Why make Stella suffer too?" His mom covered her face and cried. My feelings were complicated. I'd hated her, resented her, but seeing her like this now, I couldn't help feeling a trace of pity. Women really shouldn't make life harder for other women. "Mom," I finally spoke, my voice hoarse. "I know life hasn't been easy for you, but Owen and I got married because we truly love each other. I want to live well with him, and I want to care for you and Dad too. I just hope that in this house I can have a bed of my own, a place at the table, and not always be treated like an outsider." She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. "What's past is past," I said. "But if things stay the same in the future, I really won't come back again. This isn't a threat, it's the truth. Hearts are made of flesh. They hurt and they can grow cold." She nodded, saying nothing. "We're leaving," Owen said, taking my hand. At the door, his mom suddenly said, "Wait." She stood up, went into the bedroom, and came back a moment later holding a box. "This is for you," she said, handing it to me. Inside was a jade bracelet, smooth and beautifully colored. "Owen's grandmother gave this to me. Now, I'm giving it to you," she said. "I used to think that if I gave it to you, I'd lose something of my own, but that's not how it works. A family grows by welcoming people in, not by fighting over what's already there." I took the box. It felt heavy in my hands. "Thank you, Mom. In the future, come back often," she said. "I'll get your room ready. The bed is fine, and there are blankets." I nodded, and Owen and I walked out together. Down the stairs. Into the car. Out of the complex. In the rearview mirror, his mom was still standing on the balcony, waving at us. "You really forgave her?" Owen asked on the drive. "It's not about forgiving or not," I said, looking out the window. "At least she took the first step. The rest depends on what she does from here on out." "Then, have you forgiven me?" he asked carefully. I turned to look at him. He was so nervous his palms were sweating. "That depends on how you behave," I said. He smiled, took my hand. "I'll do better. I promise." The car merged onto the highway. The sunlight was bright. I opened the box, the jade bracelet glowing softly in the light. "Help me put it on," I said, handing it to him. He slipped it onto my wrist carefully. It fit perfectly. "It looks good," he said. "Let's go home," I said. "Yeah, home. Our home. A place with my spot, my bed, my seat at the table, and my partner. That's enough. As for the rest, we'll take it slow. There's still a long road ahead."